You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
We are joined with Andy from the Sheppey Fire Station. Andy, it's always good to catch up with you.
Well, good evening once again, and it's good to come up here and be able to talk to yourself and your listeners about what we do in Kent Fire and Rescue Service.
Well, we are approaching the period of bonfire night now. Is there sort of an increase in calls at this time? What sort of calls are you dealing with at the moment?
Thankfully, we don't get a massive increase in calls around bonfire night. What we do tend to see is that there's an increase in obviously attending bonfires. These are mainly where people have got their bonfires too large, really.
Right.
They may have got out of control, or they haven't let the neighbours know that they're having a bonfire, and their neighbours think it's unattended, and they call us out.
So people are going to probably have bonfires in their gardens. Can you sort of provide the do's and don'ts and some tips on that?
First of all, we'd like to not jump on the fun element of a bonfire on bonfire night, because it is a celebration. But make sure that it's small, and you can control the size of the bonfire and where you're having it. The siting of your bonfire is going to be away from any houses, sheds, garages, and any overhead cables or trees, because they can all catch light with the sheer amount of heat that is given off by a bonfire. If it's been set up for quite a while, make sure there's no animals in the bonfire itself before you light it. But make sure the stack is stable, so that when you do light it, it's not going to fall to one side or topple over, which could cause an injury to anybody. We ask people to consider very carefully what they are burning. Have a consideration for the environment. Things like furniture and foam-filled sofas and things are not suitable for burning, because they give off quite bad toxins. And if you breathe them in, they could cause damage to your lungs, and also cause quite untold damage to the environment, which spreads over quite a distance. Try and keep your bonfire small, burning what we call organic garden waste, so it is not treated materials, and just have the bonfire for a short period, so it causes the least amount of smoke spread over a short time.
We are at the moment joined with Andy from the Sheppey Fire Station. We normally catch up with Andy once every 2 to 3 months with a bit of an update, and we're catching up with him, of course, as we're approaching bonfire night very, very shortly. So we are joined with Andy from the Sheppey Fire Station as part of the regular slot I normally do with them. Andy, if people choose to use fireworks at home in a display, what sort of advice can Kent Fire and Rescue offer?
Fireworks are dangerous. At the end of the day, they are explosives. But again, we want people to enjoy using the fireworks and to use them very safely. A lot of the advice that we give is common sense. Like with using bonfires, preparation is key. Only buy your fireworks from a reputable outlet. And when you are using them, make sure that you read the instructions. So, i.e., read them in the daylight before you choose to have your display, but then use a torch in the evening just to make sure that you read the instructions. All fireworks are different, so you might want to have a quick refresher on each type of firework that you're going to set off. Prepare during the day. Any stakes in the ground for Catherine wheels, please don't attach them to fences and things, because they all catch light and then they spread. And have a bucket of earth that you can put any rockets in, etc., that are designed to go up in the air. Make sure you tell your neighbours that you're having a firework display, so that they can perhaps put their pets indoors. Make sure they close their curtains, because animals do not like fireworks and they get very, very frightened. Make sure you tell your children the do's and don'ts before the display starts. Make sure they stay back and enjoy the display, and they don't get injured by it being too close to any fireworks that you're setting off. Always set off a firework using a proper taper and stand well back. Never return to a lit firework because it could go off at any time. Children often like sparklers, but the legislation or rules say you shouldn't really give them to children under 5. Always make sure they're wearing gloves and that they are supervised, and you've got a bucket of water at hand to put the sparkler in. These sparklers can sometimes burn at 2000 degrees Celsius, so they're going to be very hot for a long time afterwards. Just put them in a bucket of water straight after they've gone out.
We often hear of reports of children using fireworks. What are the kind of legislations around that?
Well, fortunately, fireworks now can only be sold for a very short period. I think it's something like from the 26th of October through to Bonfire Night for this period that reputable people can sell the fireworks. We urge people to go to a reputable outlet for their fireworks and avoid using temporary stalls or where they're just buying fireworks at the side of a road, basically, because we cannot guarantee that they are the correct type. On your box there should be a BS number, which is BS 7114, or a CE mark. This should certify that the fireworks are safe for use. Unfortunately, you might have seen the reports on the television recently that there are fake fireworks out there,
Right.
and they are quite dangerous. Some of the things that can go in there are very short fuses where you haven't got time to get the required distance away, and they're not guaranteed, or not all the same, between time of lighting and time of going off. Those were mainly supplied around the bangers, the small fireworks.
Yep.
But there are some quite dodgy things out there, and we would urge people to make sure that they buy fireworks which are designed for the purpose of a home display. Small fireworks, nothing that's designed for a professional display. Our ultimate advice is to go to a professionally organised display. There are quite a few on the island which are very, very good, and that vastly reduces the risk of any injury. These are all held in open areas, away from buildings and away from anything that could be caught light from any stray fireworks. It's quite difficult to do it at home because you have the risk of any stray fireworks going into your house, landing on top of a conservatory roof, etc., which could cause other fires, and would need to be called out to that.
We are at the moment talking to Andy from the Sheppey Fire Station as part of the regular slot I do here at the Monday night community show with them. So we are at the moment talking to Andy from the Sheppey Fire Station as part of the regular slot I do here at the Monday night community show with the Sheppey Fire Station. Andy, is there kind of a quick summary you can give us?
Stay safe is our key message.
Yep.
Try and avoid getting yourself in a situation where you are going to either put yourself at injury or put your property at risk from any fire. One thing I did forget to mention is that if you are having a display, try to not mix it with alcohol. Have one person that is in charge of the fireworks, and they steer clear from alcohol. Alcohol and fireworks do not mix. And it's good to have one responsible person that can take control of a crowd and make sure everybody stays safe. Keep your fireworks safe and stored in a secure location away from children, and just make sure that you prepare for your event. Perhaps have a word with your neighbours that you're going to have a bonfire so that they can close all their windows, and it avoids any unnecessary calls to Kent Fire and Rescue, called out to bonfires that are smoking a lot. In that sense, you need to be mindful of what you're burning. And basically, keep your fire small. Have a good time and stay safe.
Before you go, Andy, are there any useful contact details where our listeners can find out a little bit more advice?
Kent Fire and Rescue has a wealth of information on their website, and that can be found on www.kent.fire-uk.org. There's a community safety section where there's fact sheets available to download, and you can print these off, and it's got all the safety tips on for firework and bonfire safety. There's also loads of stuff for fire safety in the home and what Kent Fire and Rescue does as an organisation to help you keep safe.
So you mentioned the website. Is there a phone number our listeners can call?
We have what we call a home safety visit service that we offer, and it's a free service where people can ring up a simple free phone number. It's the same throughout Kent, which is 0800 923 7000. People can ring this number and book a home safety visit or ring up for advice, and we can come and fit smoke alarms where required and provide advice on things like electrical safety and general fire safety in the home. It's a very good service, and more often than not, it's all free.
And as always, thank you very much for coming along and giving our listeners lots of useful safety advice.
Thank you very much.